Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's do example 5 from Miss Fu's notes. So this question is not that difficult at all. You just need to use all the knowledge that you have learned before and apply it here, especially for 5 part 2. So we have a polynomial px equals to 2x cubed plus x squared plus 5x plus a, and we need to find this constant a. And then they tell you that x squared plus x plus 3 is a factor of px. So what does it mean by this being a factor of px? It means that if you divide px with this divisor, you will get no remainder. So let's try and use factor theorem. So to use factor theorem, we let the divisor x squared plus x plus 3 equals to 0. And then you try to find x. If you cannot factorize it, you use a quadratic formula. But since you have your calculator, use your calculator. So when you want to find x, you get maths error. So what does maths error means? It means that your quadratic have no roots. Okay, no roots, it means that the roots are above or below. Okay, so because we cannot find x, we cannot substitute into px and equate it to 0. So therefore factor theorem failed. So we cannot use this. So let's try use long division because there's nothing else to do. So let's try use long division. So you have 2x cubed plus x squared plus 5x plus a. So just bear with the a here, see what happens. So we have this divisor, as I told you before. So for O level, the divisor will only be a linear divisor. Okay, but for AS, you can have a quadratic divisor here. Alright, so when you want to divide blah blah blah, you get this. So remember that this 1 equals to 0 because it's a factor. This is a factor, so remainder must be 0. Therefore we can find a minus 3 equals to 0, therefore a equals to minus 3. So then we can find your a. Alright, so again, so we use long division since factor theorem failed. Okay, and your divisor can be quadratic. Alright, so question 5 part 2 is when they ask you to find px is greater than 0. So you have to stop and think for a while here. This is an inequality. This is an equation where 2px equals to 2x cubed plus x squared plus 5x minus 3 greater than 0. You cannot just solve this by using an equation. This is not an equation, this is an inequality. So as I told you, in terms of quadratic, you have to sketch the graph first. Similar to cubic, this is cubic, huh? You have to sketch this cubic equation first. Alright, so you should know the shape of cubic equation from your Maths D during your O level. Okay, so let's try and sketch the cubic graph first. So side working, because we need to equate it to 0, we need to find the roots. So you have this cubic equals to 0, this is side working. So by using the long division which we did previously, you can factorize px into 2x minus 1 times by x squared plus x plus 3 equals to 0. So this one equals to 0 or this one equals to 0. This one is easy, x equals to half, so that is one of the root. But this one, if you solve it, use your calculator, you get maths error, no roots. So therefore, your cubic only have one root. So it's either 1 or 3 roots because it's cubic, eh? 1 solution or 3 solution. So you can have one out of these 4 diagram. So your cubic can have this shape or the reflection of it, or this kind of cubic or the reflection of it. So which one of these 4 is the real diagram? So you have to use your knowledge in terms of stationary points, in terms of gradient, to decide this. Okay, it's nothing difficult, you have all the knowledge already. So first of all, I want to know whether it's this one, the left one, or the right one. So to check that, I need to check the stationary point. Over here, you see you have no stationary point. Okay, this is a saddle shape. This one, you have two stationary points, but one root. One stationary point, two stationary point. One stationary point, two stationary point. It should be above, huh? Because there are no roots in it. Okay, so how do you find the stationary point? By differentiating px and then equate it to 0, then you will get your stationary point. So differentiate px, you get 6x squared plus 2x plus 5, equate it to 0, because we want to try and find the roots, no, the stationary point, but x equals to maths error, so therefore you have no stationary point. So that means this is not the one, this is not the one, because you have stationary points here. Okay, so it means that it must be either this one or this one. No stationary point, but have one root. Okay, so now you want to check which one from these two is the correct one. So for that, you're gonna have to check the gradient. So because if you see this gradient, the first diagram here, the gradient is going down, and then the middle is going down still, and then going down again. Here is going up, and then going up, and then going up here. We've done this on differentiation last time. Okay, so you're gonna have to check the gradient a little bit before x equals to half and a little bit after that. So here is your x, I choose 0, not too far, and then half, and then 1 after half. So when x equals to 0, the gradient is 5, it's going up. When x equals to half, the gradient is 7.5, it's going up. When x equals to 1, the gradient is 13, which is going up. So which one of these two are the diagram? So this is the one, the second one. Okay, so eliminate this one. So this is the diagram, going up still, and then going up again. Okay, so next, since we have the diagram already, now you can solve the the inequality similar to quadratic. It's just we don't use quadratic graph here, we use cubic graph here. Okay, so this part up here is px greater than 0, this part is px equals to 0, this part is px less than 0. So they want you to find px greater than 0, so this is the part we should. Okay, right, so what is your value of x over there, which is x greater than half. Alright, so this should be a circle, hollow circle, because there's no equal sign here. So it means x is greater than half. So that's the answer. That's how you solve cubic inequality. It's very similar, the idea is very similar to quadratic inequality. You have to sketch the graph first, and then you shade which part that you want. Okay, so if px is below less than 0, so this is the answer. The answer will be this, less than half. Okay, so do not solve it like an equation. It's not an equation. So there you go for example number 5.